I'm Thayer Morgan, and welcome to Interviews. Today I'm with John Pomposello of Windstream, and we're going to be talking about cloud computing. Welcome, John.
Thanks so much for having me.
Within the service provider space, what do you see as some of the biggest changes affecting the marketplace?
Well, I'll tell you, we live in one of the most competitive environments that I've ever seen, and most organizations are forced to do more with less. And what that means is giving their sales force or individuals that are bringing in revenue as much access to information when they want it, on the devices that they want it, in an immediate time frame. So an example, whether you're in healthcare, it's getting that information to the doctors. Whether you're in real estate, it's getting it to the people that are out on the field. Whether it's manufacturing, it's getting that information out to the people on the floor. So the biggest game changer that I see, and the term that everyone always hears about, is moving towards this cloud computing. And really what that is, quite simply, is allowing people to have access to information on whatever devices they want in a real-time manner.
What do you see happening in the mid-market space within the Boston area?
Well, I'll tell you, the mid-market space is probably one of the most exciting spaces to be in. These are organizations that now have access to some of the best technology that's out there. This is really happening because the cost of technology has gone down, so it's not a barrier of entry that only the Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies have. The mid-market space is really becoming more nimble. Organizations have an opportunity to grow and service their customers better than ever. I think the mid-market space differentiates themselves by how they're servicing their customers, and by leveraging technology, they can really hone in on what's their core competency and how they differentiate.
Everyone wants to move to the cloud space. What do you see as some of the biggest stumbling blocks for companies?
That's an excellent question that people are challenged with every single day. So what happens, most people realize the world is changing. They hear about cloud infrastructure. That can mean many different things to many different organizations. The advice that I would give any organization that is aware of the fact they have to change the way they're doing business today because they want to be more flexible and more nimble and allow their sales force to have access to information, is to really think about how they're servicing their customers. And then they can back in the technology that they're utilizing. So a perfect example would be a lot of employees are bringing their own device into the environment. You see deployment of Android phones, iPhones, tablets, and these employees will be more productive working the way that they want to work. And the fine line when you're moving towards cloud computing is how do you give the employees access to the information they need so they're as productive as possible while keeping that information secure. And that's always the biggest challenge, is security around cloud computing. So my advice really would be understand what your core competency is. How do you differentiate yourself? Build a roadmap on slowly releasing this technology into your workforce. So it's identify, release it, test it, make a modification, and then move on. Anybody successful is going to have a short-term plan as well as a long-term plan. And I think a recipe for failure is when you try to take on too much too quickly. I also think it's important to get multiple inputs from individuals on what people are doing, how they're doing it, if they can do that differently, what might have they done a little bit different, and that all that information helps you make the most efficient decision with the information that you have.
Great, thank you, John. I think our viewers are going to enjoy the information that you've given today, and I'm going to provide your contact information at the end of this video. So if they want to get a hold of you, they're most welcome to. Does that sound good?
I appreciate that. I mean, I always enjoy engaging in good conversation and talking about technology and how the world is changing.
Great. Thank you. And thank you for listening to Interviews. I'm Thayer Morgan.